Some want there to be physical intertwining between your planet and something else that explains the unexplainable. Some want it because they're looking for other consciousness that is well-intentioned and has the ability to intertwine in the hopes that somebody will clean up this mess. Some don't believe in the crop circles at all. They are a reality. In other words, it's hard to deny that they exist because there are people taking pictures of them. So how does the crop circle differ from any other manifestation that happens on your planet? That's really the context that we'd like to discuss this. How does that differ from any other manifestation? Because there's no way that man can separate the non-physical from anything that's happening in a physical way. But for some reason, man wants to leave himself out of the equation of creation. Can you hear what we're on? Let there be something divinely inspired that is zapping the field, and it has nothing to do with any of us. We don't want to be instruments or proponents or participants or co-creators. We want someone else to create on our behalf. And we say to you, none of that is happening. Everything that's happening of a creative nature in this physical realm includes you. We want to be right here and stay with you for a little bit because we're on the most important point that we've ever discussed, ever. And it dovetails into what we were just talking about last. Are you or are you not extensions of source energy? And do you or do you not have a role to play here in this creative arena? And if you do have a role to play, then aren't you happy to play it? And why would you ever want to leave your role out of the equation? And we promise you, your role is never left out of the equation. So then you might back up and you might say, but what role do we have in the planet spinning in its orbit? And we say, you had a role and you continue to have a role. In other words, this is not something that's just momentum that is continuing. This is momentum that is continuing because of the attention upon it, you see. And all things are that way. So there are a lot of people who, here we are visiting with you. Esther is a sort of crop circle. She's a physical manifestation of non-physical energy, but she's interpreting the vibration and putting it into verbal words so that you can have a conversation. Our friend was just talking to us a little bit ago. In fact, it's happened several times around the room where they are actually receiving non-physical blocks of thought. They are not needing Esther to do the interpreting. And so the question that we are sort of stirring up here is, are there things that are just occurring in your physical time-space reality that doesn't require a man pushing a button or moving a shovel? Or we say there are all kinds of things. How do you explain your electricity? How do you explain your Earth moving in its orbit? Focus is a very powerful thing. So now the question is it possible for someone to actually move something with the power of thought? And we say yes. So explore it further if you want, and don't take anybody's word for anything. Let it be. Take your own pictures and do your own research, and find a way to effectively utilize the energy that creates worlds that pours through you. When Jerry and Esther first met us, we encouraged them to utilize us in every way they could think of. So they would go in the city and lose themselves and see if we could find their way out. It might not seem like a very important thing when you've got infinite intelligence flowing through you, but it was one of the first ideas. Take us to the grocery store and see what we choose to eat. But the most significant thing is understanding that you are an extension of source energy and you are underutilizing your connection dramatically. And crop circles are an indication that someone is using the connection in a more focused way.